Hello, I'm Patrick McClure. In fact, you may remember me from such projects as DRAND, from such consortiums, I've got to hold it, okay, I see. From such consortiums as the League of Entropy. And today I'm presenting Decipher, which is kind of the next generation of DRAND in some ways. It's a generalized threshold network. And in particular, today we're going to be talking about cross-chain swaps. So perhaps a little recap on DRAND in case everyone forgot, because it's been quite a while since we've shielded time lock, which we did for a couple of years at every stage, basically. So DRAND is a threshold network that signs an epoch number every couple of seconds, a bit like a cryptographic clock. There's a multi-party computation that happens between different members of the League of Entropy to come up with a signature, and that signature constitutes randomness. It's used in Filecoin consensus for a whole bunch of stuff, actually. So for proof of space-time, proof of storage, choosing who gets to validate next block, stuff like that. And yeah, some details on how it works there, but I think everybody's quite familiar with this DRAM bits. Some security assumptions around it are that it assumes that we don't have a malicious majority in the League of Entropy. Also, no member of the League of Entropy can bias a random output, so even if they were to be compromised, they could only predict all the future blocks. They couldn't actually change them. Although some downsides are that if there were a compromise in the League of Entropy, it would be silent. We wouldn't possibly know about it. And it also supports periodic resharing for member on and offboarding, but one point to note there is that if the League of Entropy was compromised at any point in time, resharing is not going to fix that. Okay, so we talked there about how DRAND signs essentially the time. Decipher is a little bit different because rather than acting like a cryptographic clock, Decipher can attest to real-world values or on-chain values, because of course on-chain is the real world. So you could pose questions to the Decipher network like, what color is the sky? And the Decipher network could cooperatively look at the color of the sky and decide if they agree on what color it is. So in this case, blue. We get a signature for the color blue. And that kind of acts a bit like consensus. So 51% of the Decipher network agree on something, then that's looks in some lens a bit like consensus. And a little bit like our old time lock shell from the days of yore. We can actually use this as an encryption scheme as well. So we can encrypt a message and say, I want my hello world message to be decryptable when the sky is blue. I can apply all the same good time lock goodies to that. And if the Decipher network attests the sky's gray, that's useless for us. But if they attest that the sky's blue, we can use that signature from the Decipher network as a decryption key. So that's very exciting. That allows all kinds of new protocols that aren't currently possible on blockchains. And one such protocol is Only Swaps. So we built Only Swaps recently for cross-chain token swaps. Everyone could try it out. There's a lovely QR code there if you want to give it a go, but also you can try only.decipher.network if you don't like scanning rogue QR codes. Very understandable. So I'm going to dive a little bit into how it works, maybe while people are scanning that. So we've been talking with Secure Finance and the Phil Oz team, and it seems that there's a need to move liquidity from other chains into Filecoin in order to pay for storage on Filecoin Onchain Cloud, which the present solutions aren't fitting the bill, basically. Like, I think Axelar is very low liquidity, it's very expensive. Squid Router being their routing protocol. So the good thing about Only Swaps is it's extremely fast. Because it relies on threshold cryptography, basically the signatures are very quick to do, and we're already parallel with some of the top solutions out there, like a crosstalk protocol. So how does it work at a high level? Basically, users request a cross-chain swap in Solidity land. We have a solver network, which then provides funds on the destination chain. And the Decipher network then verifies the state of both chains and unlocks the tokens for the solver on the source chain again. So again, we've got this magical signature as a parameter. The trust model is that we got honest majority and Decipher, so kind of similar to the DRAND assumptions that are already in Filecoin. And here's a slightly more complex diagram of how it works. The user locks their tokens in source chain contract. The solver sends tokens to the destination contract, which then gets forwarded to the user. The Decipher network checks everything, creates a threshold signature, and unlocks the funds for the solver on the source chain. So that's why it's really fast. From a user's point of view, they actually don't have to wait for Decipher to verify the output of the solver. And the solvers aren't incentivized to mess up, because then they lose all their money. Here's a more complex one. I'll leave it in a slide deck for later. I'm not going to go through every step. This is a QR code for the diagram I just showed there. It's a monster QR code. I'm kind of excited by how crazy that is. Additionally, we use these threshold signatures in the Decipher network for some other cool things. So our contract upgrades require the current committee to sign the new upgrades. So hopefully that can avoid rogue governments taking people's keys and upgrading contracts, as they are wont to do, because they would have to compromise all the Decipher nodes, which aren't in one jurisdiction, aren't in one computer, aren't in one cloud infrastructure. So hopefully it should make things a bit more resilient, kind of like DRAND. And really, the magic of threshold cryptography is you just got to form some message and sign it. And as long as you're kind of clear on the taxonomy of how the message looks and what the signature should be like, you can do a lot of very powerful things. So again, very similar to DRAND, Decipher assumes honest majority. All of the Decipher members that are so far on the network, we've got 5 partners, are also deeply embedded in the Filecoin ecosystem. So they run DRAND nodes. Some of them are in the room today. Many of them aren't. But we already kind of trust them basically for Filecoin purposes. So the trust model doesn't change too much if we were to use the Decipher for cross-chain swaps. A cool benefit actually over DRAND is a key rotation is much, much easier in the smart contract. Right now, it's really painful to rotate a DRAND key. Like, we have to get a Filecoin protocol change. We've got to do a hard fork, roll it out to everybody. Whereas in this model, as long as the previous committee signs the new key and signs the update for a contract, then we're kind of good to go. And we don't need to necessarily do resharing. So with the state of where we are right now, we're deployed to mainnet, although we're on mainnet on a whole bunch of other chains. We're on mainnet on Filecoin, but we're working on a few bugs between decimal differences. So hopefully early next week we should be live on Filecoin between USDT and USDFC. We also support these other chains. There are a couple of other test sets too. We're kind of adding new chains all the time. So in principle, we could start getting liquidity from all these chains into Filecoin, and that's quite exciting. Maybe a point to note, we only support EVM chains right now, but hopefully in 2026, we raise a big bag of money, we'll be able to get on more chains that are non-EVM as well. And I think that might be all my slides. Oh no, we've got other cool features. Wonderful. Oh yeah, we just added pre and post hooks as well. So it enables, for example, I could have users to swap funds to Filecoin and automatically deposit them either in a Filecoin Onchain Cloud contract or in a lending pool or other things. We've now got gasless solvers as well. So if I want to run a solver with my funds, I no longer have to risk my gas fee. We can do things off chain, and the winner of an auction with the best bid will just win. So kind of risk-free premiums, which maybe is a dangerous sounding thing to financial people out there, but turns out it's possible. Also working on more conditional payments infrastructure just generally. So we talked about how we could potentially monitor whether the sky was blue or not. You could actually embed that in your payments as well. So say things like, once the sky is blue, I want to send my tokens to Filecoin Onchain Cloud and get some more storage. So that's quite cool. Some extra resources and people want to fiddle with things or contribute, which would be wonderful. We've got the Decipher repo. That's where all the main action happens. We've also got the contracts and the client, so check those out. And we've got fairly comprehensive docs. Thanks to Philby for helping with those. Indeed. So yeah, check it out. And okay, I think it actually was my last slide. Happy to have any questions or discussion or any such things.
Any questions? Ooh, coming.
I have a question. Do you have a short answer to what makes this better than Chainlink?
Well, you get to choose a
Because
committee.
it is a similar area, right? It's also effectively oracles that do agree on their output, right?
Yeah.
And so on and so forth.
So
Yeah.
I think the key difference is that you can choose your own committee for these oracles. So, for example, you could have one route for a particular token. Let's say you want to do USDC between, let's say, Filecoin and Arbitrum. You could elect a committee consisting of people from Arbitrum DAO, people from Filecoin Foundation, and people from Circle. Whereas for another route that was, let's say, USDT to Base, you could have Coinbase team and you could have the Tether team, etc. So that configurability allows you to provide more security or less security depending on and optimal fees depending on what you want to support in a route. That is one difference. Yeah, that's the best one. Also, it's composable with other protocols. I guess that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So user programmable chain link.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Right. Hi, everyone. I'm Masa from Secure Finance. Today, I'm going to talk about updates of USDFC and also how you can generate USDFC yield in an easy way. So just a moment. So USDFC is US dollar for Filecoin community. This is the first stablecoin backed by Filecoin. And our mission is to make it usable as a on-chain dollar on Filecoin network, FEM. And recently, we have experienced a great stress scenario in October and November. It's very, very condensed, very extreme situation we have experienced. And the good news is we still survive. I mean, not much of impact. So in October 11th, we suffered a huge drop. We have never seen, but we managed to maintain the peg. It's kind of like a swing, but like it's coming back to the $1. So that's great. And then next month, on November 7th, we have experienced 300% surge. Then it also affected, but we managed to get peg the dollar on this. So yeah, we have experienced this kind of very short duration, but we feel like we experienced like 10 years of running experience. So to solidify the existence of USDFC to really be ready to use as a production and more consumer and more large scale. So and then the think about how we can use USDFC rather than payment. We have been using USDFC for the grant payment and the salary payment, etc. But the big question is how we can use that. And so basically we need asset management, which is yield generation. In fact, we launched USDFC lending market. It's actually generating 8 to 10% at this moment on the auto book system. Which is great. But really, the big problem is what is the order book? Yeah, I'm not asking everyone to be the expert bond trader. This is designed to be really the bond trading system. But yeah, I understand this is kind of tricky, even though it is generating 9%. But it's really hard to manage, right? So yeah, but yeah, so we want to solve this problem by introducing Vault. So USDFC Yield Vault is coming this quarter. It is powered by Yarn v3 Vault. So it's basically 5 steps. If you receive USDFC, you can deposit to the vault, and in return you receive Yield Vault YB USDFC token. And then the vault is due to order book based automatic market making automatically. So it generate yields on the order book. And if you want to exit, you can just withdraw. So just deposit or withdraw. Maybe one potential question would be how we generate 8%, 10%. It is came out of the nature of Filecoin is high inflationary. So I understand as a protocol level, high inflationary is kind of problem. But as a finance engineer, there's always the flip side of the coin. So okay, this is the high inflationary, and turn into investment opportunity with high interest rates. So from the investor's perspective, it is great. So we can turn this inflation into the yield. That's why we have higher yield than USDC. Currently 4%, 5%. But if you have USDFC, you can generate 8%, 9%, which is good for like holders. So, and then we want to make it automatically generating yield. Powered by Yarn v3. Yarn is actually not supporting FVM, so we forked all the UI and then just deploy by ourselves. So it's kind of taking time, but I think it's kind of helpful for the ecosystem. So we're doing this. Yeah. So this is the USDFC application. This is a process of how to mint first. So you go to app.usdfc.net and then you just deposit Filecoin as collateral 150, and you just input how much USDFC you want to borrow. There's no interest rate. This is really good. And currently only one-time fee, and then you can borrow very long time. And then it is a 173% collateral ratio, so it is safe. So you have to maintain higher than 110%, otherwise it will be liquidated. But then, okay, it is confirmed and the transaction is done, and wait for 5 seconds, we make it short. And then you see on the top right, USDFC currently 0, it's turned into 200. Now we have 200 USDFC. And then you go to, then here's the USDFC vault by V3. So this is a vault, like a strategy vault. We can register many strategies. So the first one is basically the automatic market making on the order book system. You just click the deposit button, and then, yeah, I have to confirm the transaction to deposit. Currently, value in USDFC is 0, but after deposit confirmed, it's 150. Now you have YV USDFC as a receipt. And if you want to withdraw, you just return this YV USDFC, and you get USDFC back with interest rate. So currently you have 133 YV USDFC, and yeah, and then you will, yeah, this is a confirming you have your own token, 133 amount. I think that's it. So yeah, this is just the introduction of how you interact with the app. So yeah, please stay tuned, and we're gonna make an announcement when it's going to be live. So thank you so much. The question, why only take Filecoin?
Yeah, like in your example, you deposit 150 and you had 133 point something. Why?
Oh yeah, the amount of the receipt amount is based on the current price. It's kind of like a hedge fund. It's a tracking the price. It's a discounted value.
Okay.
So it's well, yeah, it is still a testing mode. It is showing 120% something. That's why it's kind of, yeah.
Got it. Okay. That's
Yeah.
not my main question.
It's kind of amount of the portion.
Just to confirm, I understand the yield that is coming from this is from the profits of the market making. The automated market maker is making profits, and since you put up the capital to do that automated market making, that you get a share of the profits. Is that basically the source of the yield? Just so I understand that.
Yeah, exactly. So source of the yield currently is coming out of this order book, and the system will place the order, lending order, and then just do the market making by itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we removed all this kind of bond trading things on a systematic way. So you just deposit and let it manage. Yeah.
Yep. Got it. Makes sense.
And in the second phase, we're going to do more sophisticated way, maybe coming in early next quarter, which is using the delta neutral strategy. So long Filecoin and short Filecoin and generating kind of 15, 20%. So yeah, you got to be really happy. But yeah, that's coming in next. It's
Cool. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.